Hey there, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. I thought I'd do a flip through for my scrapbooking video this week. I normally do 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking. The other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. The command center is the name of my craft room and also my blog. I know the light's a little dim, but if I turn the light on, you'll get a lot of reflection. So I think this is better than having the light on. Hopefully I can lighten it up a little bit. So this is my beginning album of 2023. So the first page, unfortunately, this was on New Year's Day. We had to put our dog to sleep, but I really love this layout. This is a 49 and Market. I did a lot of rub-ons and really just kind of used things from the pack. I also did a little pull out here to give a little bit more information about our little dog, Sweetie. Gracie did some stamping. Oops, that's not stamping, that's handwriting. And anyhow, I really like that. And then we did a little Alice in Wonderland adventure. It was like a scavenger hunt kind of thing. And I just used some elements. I received a freebie card when I went to the expo one year. And I normally don't send out cards I didn't make since I do make cards. But when I was working on that, that layout, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to cut that card apart. So I really love those embellishments. I mean, like super cute, right? Here was a flip flap. Sorry, I showed you earlier. And a lot of these layouts, you're going to know that or notice that I've done individual process videos on them. This one, the picture is way down here because I still haven't printed the photo that I need to do to complete this. But this was one I believe I did a layout for, excuse me, a process video. Look at this paper. I love this. This was from a company called, I want to say Wild Whispers. They're a Canadian-based company, but they're no longer in business. But I love, and I've never seen any other like concert like line, and I love it. I'm so upset that I used it all at this point. This is like the ending of it. Definitely did a process video of this cute little Cricut embellishment. This is one of my month in reviews. A lot of stuff going on. I love month in reviews because you get all these pictures. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pictures in this 2-page spread. And it just talks about some kind of random stuff that happened in March. So stuff that I usually do in my month in reviews is photos that they might just be kind of like one photo items and don't, in my mind, I don't really want to designate an entire page for it, or so I'll put them in a month in review. This one I know I did a process video because I did this one on print and cut, so you can really personalize your layouts. This one, now that I'm looking at it, it's pretty simple. I probably need to do something here. Maybe that's what I was waiting for. It's funny how when you go through stuff, then you realize, oh, I didn't actually complete these layouts. But these are a lot of pictures. I love 2-page spreads, in case you didn't notice. Cute. Look at that. That's definitely from my Cricut. Those are definitely some chicks from Printable Cuttable Creatables. Look at more flip flaps because there's just so many photos. I'm on the design team for Printable Cuttable Creatables, and they have the cutest cut files. And I do have a 15% off code. And I'll put that in the information box along with the link to that company. These are all from Design Space. These were from, the title was from Cricut. I definitely know I did a process video for that one. Here's another month in review. Now this one only has 4 pictures, but you could see there, my sister and my cousin and I at my uncle's funeral. We were at the park here, another birthday party, but I just took the one photo, and then a photo of my son and my daughter-in-law. Baseball. I'm pretty sure I did a process video on this one too, even though it looks really simple, but I love it because I added a sticker here to add a little bit more embellishment to that, and a little clusters here and there, also up here. Very simple layout. Actually, that's very simple. I'm surprised I didn't do a little bit more there. I know I did this Cricut cut, but anyhow, this one I need to complete. Oh, here's more flip-flaps of our trip to San Diego. I love this seaside stuff. I want to say this is from Creative Memories, which I don't usually use their stuff, or it's been a while, which is funny because, you know, most of us probably started scrapbooking, or I should say most of us scrapbookers that are at my age started our scrapbooking with creative memories, but they still have beautiful things. This is like a title page for my zoo layout. Lots and lots of pictures here. Lots of journaling, another flip flap. Again, Cricut silhouettes for the animal. This one I definitely did a process video for, and this is a page and a half. You can see how I have all those pictures, and I always like to add these kind of pages or flip flaps, things like that, because they definitely add interest to your scrapbooking or scrapbooks. And then here was just one picture of my niece's graduation, or her graduation party. So that was a fun one just to put right there. This is a very simple one as well. Oops, where's the flap? Here it is. Little behind the scenes journaling. Cute, cute, cute. You could see I don't care that things match or don't match. Obviously, if I'm doing a 2-page spread about the same subject, I feel the need to make it flow, which you should. But these are 2 separate events, and I just love how this one turned out. Again, this is 2 months review, May and June, random pictures, and I just do little pieces of paper here that talk about who's, what's it about. It's just very simple. This was actually from a card kit, and I use that as my embellishment. So, you could tell that it should have fit on a card, but instead I put it on my scrapbook. I love, love, love that. I love the colors of this one. And of course, red, white, and blue. This is fun. I did a process video on this because I used a bunch of scraps for the background. Oh, love it. Here's another one. I cut this huge hexagon shape from my Cricut. I created this title, and very, very simple, but yet so colorful and so interesting. Here's another flip flap. Oh, I have a lot of flip flaps in this album. Here's a gardening one. Again, Cricut. I use my Cricut a lot in my scrapbooking. So when people are like, oh, I don't know, should I get a Cricut? Look, if you're going to use it, get one. But it always makes me crazy when people say, oh, I bought, the maker, the best, the newest and most expensive version of the Cricut. And then they say, oh, I haven't even taken it out of the box. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It makes me crazy because, first of all, I mean, who has that kind of money? Apparently a lot of people, because I hear that a lot. But I'm just like, if you're not going to use it, why do you buy it? Anyhow, personal opinion. So this was an Echo Park baby girl kit. And then you could tell on this one, I added some cuts from my Cricut because I wanted, for the title. But you could see how I did all these little kind of splattering of stickers. And I love, love, love that because there's usually little extras that you're like, what are you going to do with all those? And I love how the stickers are, see, I have a lot of them here, but because they're all kind of coordinated, they're all within the same, it doesn't just look like somebody just threw a bunch of stickers down. And that's always my tip. If you want to use a lot of stickers, make sure they kind of cluster with a title or a journaling spot or photos, whatever, because if you just kind of splatter them everywhere, it just looks disorganized, and it's hard to for your eyes to focus on that. And then there's this page. So I did a challenge where we had to use as many stickers as possible. I've seen something like this before. I'm telling you, I had so much fun with this. So I grabbed a lot of, color coordinated stickers that I have not used in a long time. And I love, love, love the way that looks. I'm going to have to try to do that again one day. I think that was a lot of fun. So here's some more. Definitely, this was part of a Rainbow Crush challenge that I do through a group on Facebook called the Paper Snob. Oh, no. Yeah, the Paper Snob. And is that it? That sounds weird. Anyhow, I'll put a link to that as well. But it's the Rainbow Crush Challenge. And I've done a few of these. This was one. The 4th of July was one. Oh, the very first page of Gracie, that first cover page, the yellow, that was one. But those are all process videos. And if you're interested in looking at more videos of mine, go to my scrapbooking playlist and you can, scroll through that. This is, we do a summer reading marathon, my daughter and I. And so on this bottom, I just cut out strips of paper that was from this kind of color collection or paper collection, and I wrote the titles of all the books that I read that year on this like bookshelf. I love, love, love that idea. I think that was a really kind of fun thing. And then at the end of the challenge, whoever read the most books gets treated with Baskin Robbins from the one who read the least books. Oh, excuse me. Just more pictures. This was a cake topper that I changed or made it into the title of this layout. These are very recent process videos. This was from that Rainbow Crush as well, because it was my favorite colors or your favorite color combo, and I couldn't think of one, so I did all the colors, which I don't know, may have been cheating. But this is what I was talking about with the stickers. You see how you could see I used a lot of stickers here, but see how they all, you know, they're grouped together. They're grouped together. They're grouped together. If I would have put one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, one here, see how it would have just, like, your eye would have just went crazy. This might be one of my favorite clusters right here, because I have, oh gosh, if I had to count them, I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, only 8. Oh, 9, 10 stickers, but they're, again, all together. So it looks like a cluster instead of just thrown everywhere. So I have cluster here, cluster there, here, here, and here. And then here's another one. This is the last of this particular party. And then I have one last one for this August. This ends in August of 2023. And I did these embellishments with the Cricut, with the print then cut, because I had to create something from my high school. So I just got an M. It was a monogram M, wrote the word Milpitas in there. I added the banner. And then, you know, once you add your whole kind of group of embellishments in Cricut Design Space, then you flatten it and it becomes a sticker. So I love that. And this one was pretty simple. I think I just looked up Trojans and that came up. The only thing I probably did was make sure the color coordinated. And then this is another one, easy, banner or ribbon. And then I typed in class of 83. And then another flip there. Easy, easy. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, I mentioned earlier, I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever I'm doing in the command center, which is the name of my blog, and also my craft room. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and leave a comment for anything that you might have a question about. If you have comments about, I love reading comments and I really do appreciate it. And you can also share this with anybody who's just looking for random scrapbooking ideas. Thank you so much again for watching. Appreciate it. Bye.